In this tip, we're going to have a look at trying to create space and stereo width within the reverb. So let's grab our main lead vocal chorus bit again. Okay, cool. Thank you for the... So let's send this to another 2 buses. And let's send some level. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab vintage verb and let's grab a preset. So we'll grab plates, vocal plate. Okay. Let's send this across. So now we've got 2 reverbs, kind of identical, and well, not panned yet, but I'm going to pan them left and right. So what we're trying to do is create stereo width using this reverb. Rather than relying on the stereo width within the reverb, we're going to try and kind of create our own. So first things first, we could try different kind of pre-delays, try different decay times as well. Okay, so we've managed to change some of the settings here. Let's change this one to 70s. Let's open the other one, and you can see we've got different settings now for each. So different reverb times, different pre-delay times as well. Yeah, what we're trying to do is kind of, I guess the word is decorrelate. So kind of change the 2 reverbs so there's actually differences between them. Okay, so let's try some other things here. So let's grab Pro Q4 and let's just do something kind of broad here. So we'll do some EQ and let's copy that across. And let's kind of make these the opposite. And then we've got some other differences here. So we've got differences in the frequency spectrum for the left and the right hand channel. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. Okay, I'm going to make this a bit bigger and a bit more pronounced. So keeping the differences in the decay times. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. You give me something to believe. A different kind of energy. Just want to keep a little bit away from that low area because it sounds like it's causing a little bit of a muddiness. So let's just move these as well. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. You give me something to believe. A different kind of energy. Thank you for the... So let's just check the 2 decay times because we may lose a little bit of balance if one's obviously lasting a lot longer than another. So let's just kind of get them a little bit close together. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. So it's a very exaggerated reverb, but I want it to be very clear what we're doing. But you can hear it's got a really nice stereo kind of spread to it. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. Okay, now we can try some other things here. So let's bus this reverb to another channel and let's go to imaging. I'll just do this with the very basic Logic direction mixer. And we could try pushing this out to the sides even more. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. You give me something to believe. A different kind of energy. So again, could be a good idea just to EQ this reverb. Now we've got both of them together. Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. You give me something to believe. A different kind. So I'd say we got quite a nice kind of stereo reverb patch there. And we did that by just changing the settings between the 2 reverbs. So there's differences between the 2. And then going with some EQ. Loads of different things here. You know, you could try maybe putting a chorus on one side. Different kind of energy. Or maybe
thank you for the frequency.
Different setting for each side for the chorus.
Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. You give me something.
So anything that decorrelates the left and right hand channel, so causes differences between the left and the right hand channel, your ear is going to perceive as being stereo width. And obviously we bust these together, and I used the direction mixer to push this even further out to the sides, and then I used EQ to just do a little bit of adjustment there. Now you've got to be a bit careful when you're doing things like this. You want to check these things in mono.
Different kind of energy. Thank you for the frequency. You get me in the zone. You give me something to believe. A different kind of energy.
So it's still there in mono, but obviously it's a lot quieter, especially when we use that direction mixer, because we're kind of pushing things out to the side. But sometimes in mono, you don't have the luxury of the stereo width. So sometimes actually you might want something to be quieter in mono because there's not as much space when you're in mono. So if ever the track's played in mono, actually some of that stereo width will just disappear and it won't be present in the mono, which might actually be desirable. But you do just want to check that and make sure the mix still works in mono, or what you're doing still works in mono. Okay, so that was the next tip. Decorrelate your reverbs, pan them left and right. Just add whatever you want on the two channels, or not, obviously do it with intention, trying to make it sound good. But you'll basically create a nice, rich stereo width. So for any part that you want to have the effects really pushed out to the side, that's quite a good tip. Okay, let's head into our last tip. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.